Hi all, I want to address a little topic today from recent events about how recent over-the-board games between grandmasters have been seen to be unsound by many commentators, especially now an increasing age of very powerful engines. Who, if they're on the FIDE scale, these engines would be like 3,200. So what we're seeing is an increasing search for truth on the chessboard, an objective truth, in terms of concrete variations. But there seems to be a gap between actually being empathetic or sympathetic to the players' feelings or the emotional verdicts that they may have had about certain moves or variations, and their fragile kind of depth. They can only analyze so many moves ahead. Engines can look at many possibilities as well as breadth and depth. So we get this difference, the beginning of truth, the end of empathy, maybe a way of capturing this new engine world that we're in. Often I think as humans, in our calculations in inverted commas, we reach these verdicts about positions being better or winning, and sometimes they're emotionally driven verdicts which seem quite convincing. And often, if you did investigate further and further into position, you might uncover amazing resources. Of course, engines do that automatically. They go deeper and deeper into position. And you even see the depth that they're working to, So you can see, depth 12, depth 14, 16. And the experienced engine analysts of over-the-board games will put the engines on, for at least 22 depth or more. It's going to be more. And that's going to be laughed at. If someone looks at this video next year, they'll say 22? No, we're at 32 now. Okay, so we're reaching this world of increasing truth and less empathy, or the start of truth and the end of human empathy. So we take the more unsound grandmasters recently and the more unsound games, and the engine analysts will say, how did so and so play so badly and get away with it? The empathy's gone. They got away with it because in human versus human games, human calculation compared to engines is not as good. It's flawed. There's emotional verdicts along the way of calculations. Humans think, this is really clever, and then they might switch off and that's it. The verdict is made. Let's take a dramatic recent example of this. So Kramnik Howell, I was doing the live stream of Kramnik's recent wins, and I wasn't able to turn on an engine. It would crash everything because I had live stream on. I was doing the live commentary on the chess-based server. No engines. I was relying on the bits there. If they wanted to check with an engine, then fine. So I did some analysis of the position. I said, guess the next move here. What did Vladimir play here? Which was really clever. I thought it was really clever. It was an emotional verdict. Okay, if I give you 10 seconds, or you may want to stop the video, please try and guess what Vladimir Kramnik played here against David Howell in the recent London Classic. So 10 seconds starting from now. Okay, I thought it was really clever. It was rook takes c3. I'm sure, Vladimir, when playing rook takes c3, must have reached an emotional verdict and think, this is a blindingly amazing tactic I've just played here, rook takes c3, along with all the IMs and GMs that thought their brilliant games were absolutely brilliant, until they take those games home and the engines say how rubbish they played, how there were all these amazing counter resources that they totally missed, rendering their brilliant, beautiful combinations completely unsound and trash. Well, here, David Howell, he queens his pawn, and we have the final coup de grace. Okay, what was played here which finished the game, Kramnik versus Howell? I'll give you another 10 seconds. See if you can work out what Vladimir Kramnik played here. Okay, this is really neat trick, isn't it? Rook c8. Well done if you guessed that, because look, more pressure has been put on f8. That's really clever. If queen takes queen, you you take and you queen. That's really clever, and you're up a whole night. What a brilliant finish to a game. Now, turn on those evil engines, of course, and this is not the end of the story at all. Okay, forget our emotional verdicts. Let's plough deeper into the resources of the position, and I'll give you 10 seconds to see what maybe did both players, both strong grandmasters, one a super grandmaster, potentially miss with this seemingly amazing combination. So I'll even flip the board for you if you want. So black to play here. So I've given you a clue. There might be something absolutely stunning and amazing, and I'll give you 10 seconds, or you may want to stop the video starting from now. Okay, to my recent horror in a kibitz at chessgames.com, I hadn't checked out all the kibitzing, but there's a resource here which engines probably pick up in a nanosecond. Queen f1 check, using one of the extra queens, seems to present white with some difficulty. Let's just see how quickly Houdini, which I wasn't able to use in the live stream, picks this up. Queen f1 check. Still, it's better for white, but I very much doubt this was seen by either player. The idea of Queen f1 check after king takes is now another strong checking move. Queen a6 check, hitting the rook as well as the check. So now, if king g2, rook takes c8, and what is white doing here to win? Well, apparently, from an engine point of view, white's still better by nearly 2 pawns, and this is like fantasy world now. I didn't see any of this when I was doing the live stream. Did either player see Queen f1 check? I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the commentary room when they finished this game. I was probably playing my FIDE game. But apparently white's still winning anyway, with even though the exchange down. But if David Howell had seen this, surely he would have played this Queen f1 check. Excuse me if he had seen it and this is all just made up nonsense. Okay, so knight d4, and this apparently is winning now. Okay, because what happens here, well, what is actually black doing in this position? It starts to get a little bit tricky. Black is slightly overloaded here, can't take the queen. And what is actually happening if black does nothing? If king h7, right, let's follow king h7, king h2, black happens to be overloaded, so say rook g8, so the knight can creep in to the position now. Let's say knight f5, and we see this position, let's throw in queen c8, and here white apparently is still winning with queen takes c8, rook takes c8, and the exchange down still winning with knight d6. Okay, let's try and pick up the pawn, but what happens is the knight just in time manages to protect the pawn. So I think this is the key thing which leaves white still in the winning position. White's able, for example, to march the pawns, get a pass pawn in the centre maybe, and that's going to be the end of black because the rook is now tied down. So let's just follow through just briefly with an example. So creating a pass pawn over here in the centre would seem to leave black helpless. Or the king march as well, or just f4. Let's follow with f4. f5, creating another passed pawn. It's likely to be winning in principle. Or the king herding the pawn. Let's go king c5. This is going to be decisive now. So anyway, maybe it's not the most amazing example, it's just a recent example, but somehow I doubt that either player had seen this continuation, queen f1 check. I do know for a fact that many IMs have expressed, you know, engines tearing apart their apparently best wins that they've ever had tactically. It might be possible that one or even both of the players did miss queen f1 check in the final position. But anyway, what I really wanted to draw your attention to, maybe this is actually a useful idea in its own right, when you're calculating variations, to bypass all the emotional hurdles and verdicts and carry on ploughing into the depths of the position. Maybe that's the thing we learn from engines, to be more cynical of our emotional verdicts. So anyway, comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.